So we're going to continue talking about CSS and color, but we've talked about backgrounds. Now we will talk about text colors. And very important, we're going to talk about link colors, and commonly referred to as pseudo classes. In this video, we will also cover the importance of good contrast for the text against the background so that it's readable and legible to the people looking at the site. So what you're seeing right now is the colors that we dealt with in an earlier video, where we picked 5 colors that are all from one family of blue, and we put them into backgrounds of divs. And the HTML file looks like this. So each div has a different class on it, and the classes in the CSS are giving each div a different color. So we can do something very similar to test our text colors against a background. And let me just grab a little list that I've got in another file, and I will copy that and I will paste it at the top of our HTML file. And right now it's just a list with the default text color. And so I will save, go over here and reload. So right now, no pseudo classes, no styles, no colors have been applied to this at all. What if we want to test the 5 colors we've already chosen and see how they look against a white background? So an easy way to go about this is to go into our CSS and take these 5 style rules, copy them, paste them, change the word background to color, because this is the property that determines the color of the text. So it doesn't say the word text, it's only the word color. Change that, change that, change that, change that. And we want to change the name of the class slightly because we don't want it to apply to the divs we already have. So I'm going to do a really simple thing. I am going to just add the number, making it easy to remember and easy to put into our document. So now I've added 5 new classes to the CSS document. And the classes each determine a different color for the text. But so far, let me save that. So far, nothing in our HTML document has those classes, right? Our divs have these classes. So if we reloaded right now, nothing would happen. So to make this work, I'm going to have to include a class in each of the LIs. And I'm going to do this the easy way. The reason I'm doing it this way is to demonstrate for you, or to model a way to test all the colors in your palette very easily as both backgrounds and as foregrounds. So save and then reload, and now we're seeing how those colors look when they're applied to text against a white background. Now I want you to think very carefully about how these colors would look in the middle of a paragraph full of black text on a white background. Which of these colors for the text would look most like a link? Ignore what my actual text says here. That top one is pretty close to black, right? So that's not necessarily the best color for the links within your paragraph. The one that says it's for focus probably is the best link color out of these 5 possible choices. Similarly, what is going to be the most effective hover color? When you roll the mouse over it and it changes color, which of these colors would be the best to show a change from link but not go to the same color as all the text? So these 2 colors, color 1 and color 4, not really that great for links unless we used it for the visited link, which is one you've already gone to, so you don't really need to see that link again. So let's change these colors around based on, move this a little bit, based on what the function of the link the pseudo classes actually are. So I think this bright blue one that we've got for focus, color number 3, that's probably really the best one for link. And so how am I going to do that? I am going to cut, and I am going to paste it right there. I'm going to keep the other one. I'm not going to lose that yet. Then for hover, what would be a good color for hovering over something? Possibly this one that we've got for the 5th one for active. So get rid of that, cut, and put that there, right? So again, I'm modeling a way for you to test out colors and look at things. So we have link and we have hover. Which other pseudo classes are most important? Sometimes we want to make visited look a lot like the background color or grayed out, something like that. So for that, we might be using color number 4. So we could take this one away and put it for the 2nd color there. A visited, what if we put that for focus, possibly? And what if we take the link color and put that down for active, something like that, right? So just showing you that you need to think about which color is suitable for which thing. Let's reload. All right, so if you'd never clicked the link and it was this color, it would be very visible as a link. Visited, it would be gray. Focus, it would be a different color from link. Hover, active. This set of pseudo classes might work much better than the first set that we used. So again, I'm trying to model for you a way to test your style sheet, test the specified colors that you gave, and then change them in a systematic way by using an HTML file and a CSS file, reloading, saving, and choosing colors that are appropriate to what you want to do. All right, let's go to another HTML document and see the links in action. So now I have some text that's actually coded as links. And before we look at the HTML in the text editor, first let me demonstrate that by default there is no hover effect. So if nobody has specified hover in the CSS, you're not going to see any effect when you roll over a link, all right? But you will see an effect for focus, and it's built into every browser that I know of. And this is when you press the tab key. A lot of people don't realize this. Tab, 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 tab. This is really helpful for people who cannot use a mouse, which includes not only blind people, but people with other kinds of disabilities, such as somebody who can't use their arms or their hands. So they might use a voice-activated system or other assistive technologies, and they will be able to click links by tabbing to one and then pressing return, and that will take them to the page that's linked. So focus is very important for many people. The default is usually this outline in a pale blue color, but the text doesn't change. Now, the other pseudo classes that we have to deal with, what about active? What is that? A lot of people don't realize what that is. When I am pressing the mouse, I'm right now holding the mouse button down, and while the button is down, this is the active color, right? So whatever color is specified, by default in most browsers it's red, which is a problem for colorblind people. And what about after I have visited a page? These are all fake links, but this one is real. So after I've visited it, and I've gone to, oops, I'm missing my photograph. I've gone to the page, then the color is a dark purple color. It might look a little black in this video, but so a visited link will have a different color from all the other links. So now you understand link, hover, you haven't seen it in action yet, active, focus, and visited. So each of these has a different meaning. So what are we going to be able to do in our file? So our file looks like this. So we've got links coded in the normal way and all the text is in a list. So what does our CSS look like? At this point, I don't have anything that's not commented to give us colors for our various styles. And what I'm going to do something simple is I'm just going to take my comment off. I have the 5 pseudo classes already specified in this CSS now that I've taken the comment off to save us time. And remember that the order matters. So when you've got all 5 pseudo classes specified, they must be in this order: link, visited, focus, hover, active. Things go wrong if you change the order. Also, be very careful to not have any space, to have the colon in the right position. Otherwise, things don't work. So I will save and I will reload. And now we see that I've got a gray color on my visited link, but everybody has the same hover state. So I have coded a hover state for a very light blue. And my visited link is a gray color. And if I click and hold on something, my active color is a sort of a pink or lavender. And finally, focus, I'm going to tab, 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 tab. My focus text color is red, but that has not changed the outline color that's the default in the browser. So back to the CSS. You can see that all I have changed is the color, which means the text, the focus outline, is not affected at all by that because it's outline, not border. If you'd like to change the outline color for focus, and let me just let me make this more visible. I'm going to copy some code I have above and paste this in. The way to change outline color would be with the outline color property. It's not the same as border. Border is completely different. And let me actually change the text color to match. So I think this will be a sort of a pink. I'm going to save. I'm going to reload. And now if I tab, yeah, maybe that's not so visible. Depends on which background we're against. But now you see that the text color and the outline color for focus, as I'm pressing tab, they match each other. Possibly it would be better if I did something like this. Reload and, okay, something bolder and maybe easier to see. All right, so focus. Now, for a little bonus, when you're styling your pseudo classes in your CSS style sheet, you must adhere to this order for things to work correctly. So again, link, visited, focus, hover, active. But there is a kind of a shortcut to this. So I'm going to demonstrate that now. What if you really don't care about all these colors and all these changes? You just want to make life simple. What if you just want to make sure that you're seeing the link color and you're seeing the hover color? What about these other things? Can you delete visited, focus, active? No, you should not. How can you make sure that visited, focus, and active are the same color as link? The correct way to do that is comma, and then a visited. Keep the order the same. Remember, the order is really important. X to cut, comma, and finally active, cut, and there. All right, so a comma after each one, the A, the colon, the lack of space, the same. Hover has to come at the end or things aren't going to work right. And if we simply save and reload, so now what you'll see is that we have a hover effect, but when we press and hold the mouse, no change at all. When we've got a link that we've already visited, no change at all. And when we focus, we have the outline, but the color of the text doesn't change. So that is this shortcut in the CSS. And there's an even shorter shortcut that, as far as I know, is okay. I see it often in professional code. And that is to not use the pseudo class at all, but simply make all A elements, which is all the links, all A elements are one color, and then you override it via the cascade by having A hover, the pseudo class for hover, follow the rule for A, for the A element. So this is the end of links, and I'm going to add one extra little video for cool things like underlining, borders, and background effects on the links. But I'm going to close this one now because it's gotten kind of long.